Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's Menopause Matters Live. And today I am going to be talking about a common symptom that a lot of women struggle with, and that is brain fog. So, just before we get started, welcome to anybody that's new to following me. My name is Vanessa. I am the menopause specialist, and I work with women who are over 40 and who are struggling with symptoms of their body slowing down. So, it can be fatigue, low moods, brain fog, loss of motivation, all of those kinds of things. So, wherever you're watching, if you're not already following me, please do follow, like, share, especially if you find this interesting, please do like it. It tells me that this is valuable information and gives me an idea of what kind of content everybody wants. So it's really important if you watch it and you find it helpful to let me know. So let's just first start off by talking about what is brain fog. So, brain fog isn't a medical term as such. It's a term that is used to describe a state of cognitive impairment. And it's characterized by things like confusion, forgetfulness, lack of clarity, difficulty in concentrating, difficulty in thinking clearly. And it can feel as though there is kind of mental cloudiness or haziness that impairs your mental processes. And it makes it much harder for us to focus, to concentrate, to remember things, or to perform tasks efficiently. It can make it really difficult to kind of recall simple things that we know we should be able to remember. But it can also just make it really difficult to kind of think straight. Um, so what what causes it? First off, perimenopause is, of course, a trigger of brain fog for some. And yes, that's absolutely a thing. And it happens because estrogen and progesterone have an impact on our brains. And we're used to having large amounts of these hormones for our entire lives up until we hit this point of perimenopause. And then suddenly we start to lose these hormones, especially in the latter stages of perimenopause as we're heading towards, post-menopause and when our bodies and our brains become more used to having less hormones. But up until that point, we're used to having a lot more. And it can affect our cognitive function when we lose those hormones. It makes it harder to remember things. It makes it harder to concentrate, think clearly. It can almost feel like a computer glitch. It's as though your brain is functioning, but it's just not functioning as well as it used to. But there are other causes of brain fog as well. And I think it's really important to make a note of this and to kind of take it on board. It's not just perimenopause that causes brain fog. It can also be caused by lack of sleep. Now, you might argue, well, the lack of sleep is due to perimenopause, and that might be true, and it might not. Stress is a big one. Fatigue is another one. If we are fatigued, then it's hard for any of our body processes to work properly, including our brains. Eating badly or not being hydrated properly can affect us. If you remember back to when you were a teen, if you ever went through a period of eating badly, as most teenagers do, I know I did. I remember that my cognitive function really suffered. So we have to remember that that is part of it. It can also be a lack of hydration, so not drinking enough water. That can make us very groggy. And then lack of the right nutrients. So things like vitamin B12, vitamin D, iron, omega-3 fats, and mineral-wise, magnesium, really important for brain health. So all of those have to be factored in as well. And then we have also got um, potential hypothyroid issues. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know my view on hypothyroidism and suboptimal thyroid function. I think it is massively under diagnosed because the medical profession is looking for very extreme states of hypothyroidism, but there is a scale, and there's a lot of women at the earlier stages or even the mid stages that have got issues with their thyroid system, and it's affecting, it gives them symptoms, and one of those symptoms can be because everything in the body slows down when we have suboptimal thyroid function. And I'm talking about the thyroid system. I'm not just talking about the gland. But that whole process can slow down, and it slows down the brain as well as our body. So, you can have symptoms, lots of different symptoms, but one of them can be brain fog. And then we've got medications as well. So some medications will also cause brain fog. So it's really important if you're on meds to look at whether the brain fog started when you started the medications. And if it did, could it perhaps be those? We have to become detectives for our own health. We have to advocate for ourselves. We can't rely on others to do this for us because we're living in our bodies. We're living in our heads, and we know what's going on. And so it's really important for us to take notice of when things start and what could be a potential trigger. So, what can we do about it if we have brain fog? Well, if you feel it is caused by perimenopause and loss of sex hormones, HRT may well help. It does for lots of women. But if you've tried that and it hasn't helped, or if you can't use HRT, what else can you do? How do you know if it's caused by perimenopause? I guess is the first question. Well, I think it's really important to notice if you're struggling with other symptoms of loss of sex hormones. So, do you have hot flashes? Do you have night sweats? Do you have mood swings? Have you got, is everything just feeling out of sync since you hit this period of your life? Are there changes in your libido? Those are all good indicators, and I think it's important to try and determine whether it is the perimenopause or is it something else. And it's really important also to recognize that symptoms of brain fog and lots of other symptoms too aren't just caused by one thing. So it may be perimenopause and other things too. It's not necessarily just one cause. So, what can you do if you've tried HRT and it hasn't worked, or you can't take HRT, or you don't want to take HRT? Focus on the things that you can control first. So, first of all, your sleep. Is there anything you can do to improve your sleep? Is it, that you need to go to bed earlier, that you need to kind of reset your circadian rhythm so that you go to bed and wake up at the same time every day? All things that you can help with your sleep. Get off your mobile after 8 p.m., stop watching TV, make sure your room is really dark, all those kinds of things. We must make sure we stay hydrated. If you're not hydrated, then is that contributing to the brain fog? Looking at stress, can you manage your stress? Is your stress is it causing or contributing to the brain fog? How can you reduce your stress? Exercising regularly, making sure that you are getting out, walking, especially really important. Doing a fast walk, zone 2 walk. I've been talking about this a lot this week. I've been doing a challenge. I don't know if any of you have been doing it along with me, but walking is really, really important. And getting out, getting in movement, keeping your body moving. And then focusing on nutrient dense foods and a blood sugar balanced diet. So making sure that you're eating a wide variety of foods. If your diet isn't up to scratch, that's where I'd start. That's one thing that you can really take control of, that nobody can do anything about for you. You're the only one that can advocate for yourself when it comes to your diet. So looking at what you're eating, are you eating too many carbs? Are you having enough protein? Do you have enough vegetables? Do you have enough fruit? Are you getting enough fiber? All of those things. And then Getting your minerals tested, really a great way. You'd be amazed at how many things can actually improve when you get your minerals in balance. It's a really very insightful test. It gives us loads of information. And I have had a lot of clients who have struggled with brain fog, and we have worked on their diet and sleep and everything else. But we've also done the minerals, and that has been a real game changer. If you give your body the raw materials that it needs in terms of vitamins and minerals, it really does operate so much better. And that includes your brain. And then, if you do have lots of thyroid symptoms, get help to investigate this. This is something I do with all of my clients when they come to work with me. I'm looking for signs of suboptimal thyroid function. And if I think that that's going on, the mineral test will also give us an indicator of thyroid function as well, which is really helpful. And then I work with them to improve that thyroid function, because if you don't have a good functioning thyroid system, then you're going to be tired, you're going to be fatigued, you're going to be low mood, and you are, more likely to have brain fog. So that's it for today on brain fog. I hope that was helpful. There's never just one answer. Unfortunately, I think people just would like me to be able to tell them, well, it's this. And it's often not the case. It's a number of things that build up and lead to symptoms like this. But take control of what you can. There's lots that you can do. Get all those right. And then if there's still a problem, then there are other things that you can investigate further, like looking at your minerals, looking at your thyroid function, and even HRT if you haven't tried that and you think that that might be an underlying cause, sort of loss of hormones. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, do ask them in the chat, in the comments of wherever you're watching, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. And just to let you know, I have my next live masterclass coming up on Tuesday, the 19th of March. So it is a week next Tuesday. It'll be in the evening, 7:30 p.m. On Zoom. And I will be digging into a lot of this stuff and really getting into the nuts and bolts of what you need to do if you want to have a healthy, happy menopause, perimenopause, menopause, without all the symptoms. All right. Take care. Thanks very much. Bye for now.